All right, I'm back with my first February TBR reading update. So last night I finished Air of Illusion by Madeline Taylor. This was a really enjoyable read. Giggled and kicked my feet. It was fun all the way through. I feel like this book, throughout the book, I was like, oh yeah, this is like a solid 4-star read. And then we got to the last 100 pages. And in those last 100 pages, it totally ramped up. And I feel like this may have actually been a 5-star read for me after getting through those last 100 pages. So, a small spoiler, a vague spoiler, if you will. One of the things I loved about this book is there were some really predictable plot twists in here and predictable plot points. And those made it so that when you got to the really crazy plot twists, you were not expecting them at all. Some of those plot twists that happened at the end, I was literally jaw dropped, could not even believe it. So that was one thing that I felt like Madeline Taylor did really well in this book. I will say, going forward to hopefully whenever we get the next book in this series, I'm really hoping that we delve deeper into Thorn and Ivy's relationship, because I understand why they like each other, but I do feel like we need a little bit more from them and from their relationship together. Just basic plot synopsis, no spoilers. This book does follow Ivy. She is a wraith, she has illusion magic, and she is basically the king's pet. That's what everybody calls her. He took her from her family when she was 10 years old and essentially groomed her to into being subservient to him, and then also as she got older, their relationship kind of took a different turn. So there are some really heavy and dark topics in this book, but basically she has a collar around her neck that she cannot remove. The king put it there and he uses it to control and to hurt her. And then we have Thorn, who is a reaper, and we see their relationship develop through the pursuit of a common goal. I don't want to say much more than that because I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, this was a good, fun, solid romantasy read. I personally really enjoyed it. There was some spice in here, nothing too crazy, but yeah, overall this was a really good way to start off my journey through my February TBR. And as soon as I finish filming, I am actually going to start reading Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. So that is the second book that we are hopefully going to get through on my February TBR. But yeah, this is also a gorgeous copy of the book. I'm hoping that I'll be able to meet Madeline Taylor at the book convention that I'm going to, and I'm really hoping that she'll have some of the character art, because the version of this that was released in the UK, I don't think had the sprayed edges, but the hardcover was gorgeous character art, and I'm kind of hoping I can get my hands on some of that. So we will see. But yeah, I will be back with you. I will be back with you for another update, hopefully as soon as I finish Something Wicked. Hey guys, I'm back with my second February TBR update. I am really excited to share about this book. So this is Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. I had actually never read anything by Fallon Ballard before, and back when this was released, I saw the character art on this cover, and I was like, oh my god, that looks insane. So, spoiler-free review for this one. This is about a courtesan, Kate, who has magic powers. She is one of the gifted, and the gifted are discriminated against in the country of Avon, where she lives. And then the story also follows Callum, who is a former prince, and he is fighting to get a seat at the new government that will be formed in the wake of an uprising. So this book, wow, I went into this, again, had never read anything by Fallon Ballard before. I went into this having only read the blurb of this story and really knowing nothing else about it. And because of that, I expected it to just be like a spicy, fun time. I didn't really have a ton of expectations going into this book, but it really, really blew me away because it was indeed a spicy, fun time, spicy, fun romantasy, but it also had some good political and like relevant social themes of inequality and people fighting for their rights. There was definitely a real sense of some found family in here. And throughout all the events in this book, it was just a really beautiful story. Their romance is also absolutely fantastic. I really, really loved it. I don't want to say too much more about the plot because, again, I think this is one of those books that you want to go into not knowing very much so you can just be immersed in the story and really enjoy it. This was also a shorter read. I believe this was around like 350 pages. So I was able to get through this fairly quickly. Overall, it was just a really, really enjoyable, solid romantasy read. I will say I went into this not knowing if it was a standalone or part of a larger series, and it seems like it is going to be part of a larger series. From what I've gathered, the next book is going to focus on a different couple, but the overarching like political theme and plot line should be continuing, if I'm not mistaken. So I am really excited. I do hope that we will get to see more glimpses of Callum and Kate in the future books because I just did really enjoy their story. I really enjoyed both of them as people, and I thought that they were both really interesting characters. We also see both of them go on like journeys of character development. They both have pretty good character arcs throughout this book, so that is something I really enjoyed about this as well. Also, this is just like a gorgeous book, and then the hardcover is just like plain red. But yeah, the plain hardcover is just red, but like with the sprayed edge, I think it's just a really gorgeous book in general. But yeah, lots of good things to say about this one. I'm really, really hoping that I will be able to meet Fallon Ballard at the Romantasy Book Con that I'm going to because I would love to bring this with me and have her sign it, or maybe even get a special edition copy if, you know, she has other versions of the book. Now, on to what I'm going to be reading next. So, at the moment I'm filming this, I have 9 days until Romantasy Book Con, and there are 6 more books on my TBR that I wanted to get through before Romantasy Book Con. So, I don't think there's any physical way I would be able to get through all 6 of those books. I just don't think that's going to be happening unless I like literally took all of that time off work and did nothing but read for the next 9 days, which I would love to do, but sadly cannot. So the 6 books that we have left, I think the ones I'm going to prioritize are Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmerer and Direbound by Sable Sorensen. Arcana Academy and Vessel Lists are the 2 other books that the rest of the books in the series are not out yet. So I just feel like those ones are I don't know. I think I was just a little bit more excited for Direbound and for Warrior Princess Assassin, so I'm going to prioritize those 2. And then hopefully at the end of the month, I'm hoping that I can either start The Monster and the Last Blood Match or start The Lies of Lena. Those ones are also going to kind of be pushed to the back burner, but those ones are going to be pushed towards the end of the month because they're series, and I would rather kind of spend my time now reading as many different authors as I can before the convention. Whereas I know I am the type of person where once I start a series, if I like it, I want to read that series back to back to back. And in The Monster and the Last Blood Match, there's 2 books out, and for Lies of Lena, there's currently 3 books out. So I think I'm going to prioritize Warrior Princess Assassin and Dire Bound. I'm pretty sure Warrior Princess Assassin is what I'm going to read next. And then Dire Bound, hopefully, I will be able to maybe start that over the weekend. So that's kind of my plan for tackling this TBR. I started off this month finishing off my ACOTAR journey, so I definitely did not have the full month to devote to the TBR, and I kind of do wish I'd planned that better, but at the same time, reading ACOTAR for the first time was like super fun and definitely very worth it. So, what can you do? Those vlogs are on my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched them, you definitely should, because I think they're really good. I worked really hard on them. But yeah, thanks for watching this update. Hopefully I will be back with another one very soon. I am back this time with a little dual update. So I have finished yet another book, Warrior Princess Assassin. I am so freaking excited to talk about this. But first, there have been some updates about the convention that I'm going to, RomantasyCon. So I wanted to talk about those as well because 2 of the authors I was really looking forward to seeing, or hopefully seeing, have actually pulled out of the event. So I wanted to talk about that first. So the 2 authors that I was really looking forward to, one of them was on this TBR, one I've never read anything from. That is Kylie Snow and H.M. Wolf. Kylie Snow is the author of The Lies of Lena, the Autation Chronicles series, which book 1 was on my TBR for this month. Because she has pulled out of the event and will no longer be attending, I am going to remove that book from the TBR. It was already one of the ones that I was planning on reading toward the end of the month, so I'm going to remove that from the TBR, and now that means we have 4 more books left to choose from, 4 hopeful books to read before the convention. H.M. Wolf is the other author that I was really looking forward to seeing, who is no longer going to be attending the event. I couldn't find any sort of statement from her as to why she was no longer going to attend, whereas Kylie Snow did make a statement, which I do appreciate that, like, she gave us info, even though I know that, like, no author really owes us info about, like, their personal life and stuff like that. But H.M. Wolf is the author of Daggermouth, which is like a dystopian, I believe it's a dystopian book with like a romantic subplot, and that book has been everywhere. That book has gone so freaking viral, and I've really been interested in it, and I was actually hoping to pick it up at the convention from her. I thought that could be really cool to, like, hopefully meet her and get hopefully like a signed copy of the book, but she is no longer going to be there either, so I'm assuming that means there will not be a booth for her selling that book. So both of those things are okay. I get that. I totally get that things happen. So I'm not too bummed, especially since the TBR, for the amount of time I have to finish it before the convention, TBR was already really ambitious. So removing 1 book from that does just hopefully mean that it'll be easier for me to get through more books before the convention. All that being said, I finished Warrior Princess Assassin by Brigid Kemmerer, and oh my god. I devoured this. I read this in 48 hours, not even just like sitting doing nothing but reading. Like, I have had long work days, and I still absolutely devoured this book. This is on my god tier romantasy list for sure. I literally don't think I have a single criticism or complaint about anything in this book. This was so freaking good. I don't want to say any spoilers, so I'm going to be vague here and just say some things that are mentioned in the blurb. So, as you can probably assume by the title, This book follows a warrior. He is a warrior king who has fire magic, a princess who is betrothed to said warrior king, and she has heard of his brutality, and she is not super excited to be marrying him. And then we have an assassin who is one of the princess's lifelong, he is really her only lifelong close friend. They are kind of in this will they, won't they, like they've hooked up and they clearly both really like each other, but they know that they can't really be together. So I don't want to say too much more than that about the plot because I feel like going into it knowing just that information, that was what I went into it knowing, and I really, really thought it was so fantastic. I will say this book, it is a true slow burn. The spice does not happen until the end. And with that being said, this was like one of the sexiest, most tension filled reads I have read in so, so long. This had me giggling and kicking my feet. Like, oh my god, I cannot say enough good things about this book. It was so fantastic. I loved the characters. We're getting some character development that I think is really going to progress over the next couple books that I have really enjoyed. I love the relationship dynamics. I loved all three of the main characters. I felt like they all brought something different and something important to the narrative that I really, really enjoyed. I went into this assuming that it was a standalone. I did not know if it was duology, trilogy, larger series. I kind of just assumed it was a standalone. I don't know why I thought that. But last night I was finishing it and I got to the end. I was getting to like around the 50 pages or less mark to go. And I was like, there's no way it can be wrapped. Like, how is it going to be wrapped up in those 50 pages? There is going to be two more books. It is part of a trilogy. So, honestly, for me, I have kind of been trying to stay away from unfinished series because I'm already in the middle of so many. But I am so glad that I went into this not knowing that because truly getting to the end, all I wanted was to read more. And I am so, so excited knowing that another book is coming for this. This was truly like so good in every way. This to me hits every single mark of a romantasy that I want to read. We have some found family in here. We have an interesting overarching plot line. We have a cool magic system and an interesting world. We have awesome characters. We have some amazing spice. We have interesting relationship dynamics. Like, this book literally has everything. I really enjoyed the other two books that I've read for this TBR so far, but this is like truly god tier. One of my favorite things I've ever read. I loved this so, so much. And honestly, before reading this, I was like, I am gonna knock Warrior Princess Assassin out. It's gonna be good. And then I'm gonna like dive straight into Direbound. And I'm like honestly not as excited to dive into the rest of the TBR because this blew me away that much. So, yeah, this is for sure going to be the longest update because I could go on and on about this book. I did order the Fairy Loot version, which I'm so freaking excited about. I had my eye on it actually before I read this because I'm a sucker for character art and I truly like was so excited about that. But after I finished it, I was like, oh my god, I need this. Like, that, I have to have that book trophy. So I'm so, so, so excited for book two. This is one of those that if you like romantasy, I am absolutely 10 toes down, 100% going to recommend this one. So that's probably it for this update. Let me check my notes real quick because I did write a lot of notes about this and I want to make sure that I'm hitting all the points that I wanted to talk about without spoiling anything. So yeah, it does look like I hit all of the major talking points I wanted to hit when talking about this, but I truly cannot state enough how fantastic I thought this was. I will say the romance is not a conventional MF romance, so do just keep that in mind if that is something that may be a deal breaker for you. For me personally, the relationship dynamics in this is my favorite thing to read about. So, like, my favorite relationship dynamic to read about. So, I really, really enjoyed this. I literally cannot state that enough. But yeah, I am still excited to make it through the rest of the TBR. I am a little concerned that anything following this, it's gonna be really, really tough for something to follow this up and sweep me off my feet the way this did. Like, this is truly one of those books that was legitimately perfect to me. Like, I have no criticisms of this book. This was exactly what I wanted. I laughed, I cried, I giggled and kicked my feet, like, made me feel every single emotion. So I am a little nervous to continue on with this TBR and see how the next book is gonna hold up and is gonna compare. The books that I have left are Direbound, Vesselless, The Monster and the Last Blood Match, and Arcana Academy. I had already kind of said that I think Arcana Academy, Vesselless, and Monster and the Last Blood Match were going to be lower priority. So I've been thinking I'm going to go into Direbound next. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm probably still going to go into Direbound next, which I have heard that Direbound is like Fourth Wing but with direwolves, and I love Fourth Wing. So I'm hoping that I will really enjoy that. But this is just truly like set the standard. Like, the other books that I read in this video for this video have been good and like fun, giggle kick your feet, but like this, oh my god, I'm never gonna shut up about this. This is like on the level of The Scorched Throne, Bitten and Bound, Alchemized, like books that I literally never ever shut the fuck up about. So just be prepared for that. But yeah, that's the end of this update. I hope that I will see you in the next one, and hopefully it will be coming soon. All right, guys, this is going to be the final update for the February TBR video. So I was trying to get through a very ambitious TBR of 8 books before BookCon. Today was the day. It was indeed BookCon. So for this final update, I will first let you know that I did get through part of Direbound. I am about 150 I'm about 150 pages into Direbound. Absolutely loving it. It has really picked up speed. I am super interested in it and I'm really enjoying it. And this marks the 4th book that I've gotten to off of my, again, very ambitious TBR of 8 books to get through before BookCon. So I did get to meet Sable Sorensen today. I brought this copy from home and she signed it. She personalized it to me. It says "Welcome to the Pack," which is like so cute. She was so kind, so nice, and she also had a ton of really awesome like free art at her booth, which a ton of the authors did today at BookCon, which I was super, super excited about. I will be showing all of that stuff off in a separate haul video. I am going to make it a separate video, otherwise this video will be like hours long, and I don't know if anybody wants that. I certainly know I don't want to edit that. So, yeah, this was the final book of the TBR that I was able to start to read at least part of before BookCon, but totally worth it. I am so stoked that I picked this one to be like the final book of the TBR because I'm really enjoying it so far, and it was so, so fun and exciting to meet her today. So I did also get to meet Bridget Kemmerer. I had her sign the dust jacket of this version of Warrior Princess Assassin. I did just bring the dust jacket because I didn't want to lug a ton of books around from home. So for Bridget Kemmerer, I just brought the dust jacket, but I did buy 2 of her other books today and had her sign those. So super stoked about that. She was really, really nice. I was so freaking excited to meet her. Absolutely love this book, as you have probably already been able to tell by the rest of this video. So super, super stoked. Was so freaking excited that I was able to meet her as well. And then we have Air of Illusion, another book where I just brought the dust jacket. Her signature, we met Madeline Taylor. She was also so sweet. She had so much amazing art and swag at her booth, and I felt a little guilty taking so much, but I love the character art that was commissioned for this book. I think it's so freaking stunning. And actually looking at the character art online while reading helped me feel super immersed in the story. So I'm very excited that I was able to meet her. She was so kind, and be able to pick up some of that character art for myself. She did also have page overlays, which I thought was super freaking cool. And I'm excited to put those in the book because whenever book 2 comes out, I may want to do a reread. Then we have Something Wicked, Fallon Ballard. Got her little signature up there. This is the 3rd book that I just brought the dust jacket instead of, again, lugging around a bunch of hardcover books. She was also so sweet. She did not have many art prints, but she did have some cool, like, more unique swag items that I will be showing off in the haul. But it was also really fun to meet her. I feel like I didn't talk to her for quite as long, just because the point I was at in the day, there were like a lot of people around. There was a lot of stuff I wanted to get to. So I was kind of like rushing a little bit, but she was also so kind, and it was so nice to meet her because I did really enjoy this book as well. And then the last 2 authors that I wanted to talk about in this video that I did also meet today, we have Lindsay Straub, who wrote Kiss of the Basilisk and Between Two Kings. We have her little signature there. It was so fun to meet her today. She did not have any like artwork at her booth, but she did have, if you follow her on Instagram, you know, she does like funny little guy like things with her little like tiny dinosaur Jonathan, and she ordered a bunch of those for people to pick from, like the little tiny figurines, which I thought was so cool. And then she also had a little voting thing where you could vote Team Caspin, Team Leo, Team Apollo, and today Apollo won. I checked on her Instagram and Apollo actually won, which is funny. I am personally a Team Why Choose girly, but each their own. But I met her and she was really nice, and I thought that was really cool. And then the last author that I wanted to feature in this video, so freaking excited about, I met Laura Thalassa. This is Dark Harmony. This is the 4th book in the Bargainer series. I have a ton of her books. The Bargainer series is the only series from her that I've read so far, but I did really love it, and this was one of those series that, to me, it got better and better as each book went along. Like, I enjoyed book 1, but I had some criticisms of it. Book 2, incredible. Book 3, even better. Book 4 was outstanding to me. So I did just bring book 4 with me instead of the whole set and all the other books I had. Again, just because I didn't want to be lugging a bunch of books around all day. I don't have one of those rolling carts that a lot of people at the conventions like had. So I just tried to minimize what I was carrying, but I did get this signed by her. So freaking cool. She was really sweet, and it was really good to meet her as well. So yeah, that's going to be the conclusion of this TBR video. I had so much fun filming this. I thought it was really nice. It's a really good way to get through a set TBR because I am such a mood reader that I'm not typically somebody who makes and sticks to a TBR, but it was really fun to challenge myself to do that this month. And I read 4 amazing books because of it. Also, we're including Diarybound in that, even though I haven't finished it, because so far I really like it, and I can't imagine not liking it as I continue. So, yeah, if you're interested in the huge haul of what I got from RomantasyCon, please go check that video out. It will likely be posted the Monday after this video, so definitely do go check that out if you're interested. I'm super excited. I'm gonna film that right now, and I'm so excited to go through all of the stuff that I got and like really take it all in again, because I feel like the con was so fun, but it was also like sensory overload at points. So I am really excited to look back through and really see and take in all the things that I got. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe, leave me a like and a comment if you did enjoy it. And I hope that I will see you in my next one. Bye!